May 7th governance and nominating meeting. We have notes here. I've got the agenda in front of me, and it looks like up first is the board roster update, which is here in the notes. And is there anything that we need to discuss? There are new members on here. And the members whose term ended are off. So this is the updated board roster.
Yes, it is. Now, Chris Nardone is now an ex officio member of the board. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. And does he know that?
Yeah.
All right.
And he's grateful. And he was at the meeting.
Okay. So we add him to this list.
Okay, so this needs to be updated with Chris Nardone.
Basically, the issue is there's 6 or 7 towns represented out of 18. So from a geographic standpoint, we might want to be looking at
Somebody from Gallatin.
New Lebanon or Canaan, or I mean, yeah. we should just make. We had when.
Why is Michael Johnson considered Clopper? Not isn't his bus garage Noma, or is that?
Village or Philmont, town or.
Trying to get a new name on there.
I'm trying to do towns.
Now, on the other hand, we have I'm going to say 4 from Hudson because Rick Scalera is only there because the board supervisor, the ex officio. I think look at the 17 board members, which that's representative. I think in the past it had been more additional people from Hudson, and then when you look at the affiliation. We didn't go through and do it by NAIS code as to what line of business you were in. But we have communications, real estate, small service business.
Small point, but should Rich Nesbitt be town of Austerlitz?
Oh, good. Of course we could.
Well, it says Spencer town,
Right.
Yeah.
which is correct, but if all the other ones are towns.
Right. The good news is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 small businesses, and if we consider the Bank of Greene County and the hospital as a large business, and Mid-Hudson as large businesses. And we have 1 not-for-profit. There was a point where we had 5 or 6 not-for-profit executive directors. And I think our goal was to quote one of our former board members who said, you should have people who sign the front of a check on the board, not people that sign the back of a check. And and I think when you look at that criteria, I think we've done well, and I think it is a pretty good assortment of business types. It's not all lawyers and accountants and insurance people, which have been in the past. So and I guess on the other front. We had worked to get additional diversity in terms of men and women, and I think we still need to work on that. There are many women business owners in the county, and I think when you so I think that's an area we might want to continue to explore as we look through this.
Mike, the representative of the Board of Supervisors on the CEDC board is likely to change?
Yeah, likely to change. Rick Scalera has responsibilities now for with his grandchildren in the morning and isn't able to get to the meetings. It's just been that Matt Murrell hasn't moved forward with that. My understanding is that Supervisor Ryan Skoda from Conic, who is the chair of the County Board of Supervisors Economic Development Committee, is considering it. He is a farmer, and so he was concerned about meeting times and the number of meetings. But we're going to, I'll see him tomorrow night at the Board of Supervisors meeting. So I would think by the June meeting that will be resolved.
Does anyone know if we have any vacancies on the board? That's just looking at it.
13, 14, 15 weeks.
But you're gonna have 21, so there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2 vacancies. You have 17.
You're
I don't
gonna,
like-
well, you're gonna have, remember, we added.
But I'm not counting the ex
We had a
officio.
Christian.
Right,
He's on here though.
yeah, he is.
So we have 2
So you
openings.
have 2 openings.
2 vacancies. To that end, Rachel, you had someone you wanted to recommend as a
Yeah,
potential board?
right, a couple of months I had recommended Christine Hinz. She's also a realtor and has a background in public relations. She's also someone who I know professionally, but who I noticed was actually attending the CEDC meetings online. And I thought that was a good indication of someone who was interested and knew of the organization. And I also kind of like in terms of real estate and the continuing education and all of the ethics and implicit bias training, and you kind of know you're getting someone who has an understanding of those things, which I think are helpful. Both she and I do different, she's really full-time real estate right now, but has this PR background. So I don't feel like it's too heavy with real estate in terms of bringing other core competencies that could be helpful to the organization going forward.
What part of the county is she from?
She lives in Taconic, and she works right now for Coldwell Banker. I think she's in the Catskill office, so Greene County. She works out of the Rhinebeck. She works out of different offices. Are you looking for someone, because I know that there was a push for to reach out to manufacturing businesses? Are there, like, would that be a good kind of?
We have a list of 60 to 70 small manufacturers. We could bring that to the committee's attention and take a look at that.
Because finding someone who is in that area or arena might be helpful in terms of going forward, reaching out to. And I just remember there was an effort that was kind of started when Jessica was leaving to try to reach out to manufacturing businesses.
Yeah, when you look at the nature of the businesses we have, I think Rick, you're as close to the manufacturing business of people we have now. And certainly, we had John Lee on the board for many years before he retired. And why don't we do that? We'll get a list for you to review, to see who you may already know that might be involved in that area. I think most of the manufacturers in the capital region, no one makes a complete piece of equipment. They either assemble other people's parts into a product they sell, or they make a component part that they sell to someone to incorporate into their product. So, and I think when we looked at on a regional basis, and even the county, most of our manufacturers are component manufacturers. That would be great.
Rachel, the person that you're recommending, is that someone we should interview in the near future?
Yeah, I wasn't, this is only my second meeting, so I'm not exactly sure how that process goes, but yes, I would recommend that the committee meets with her. Is that something we could schedule for the next governance and nominating meeting?
So she has to get the paperwork and her resume and everything to us before we, right, make a recommendation. Is that the
Okay,
new-
so since I sent that already, and then Sarah had gotten back about had emailed back about the process, so I had already sent it. Do I send it again and send it to everyone on the committee, or how do I move forward with that? Does it come from me, or does it come from Mike? Does it come from you?
Normally it would, came from Sarah to the chair. And once Sarah discussed it with the chair, then it was brought to the committee. And then the committee had Lisa schedule an interview, or did Sarah make the first call?
Sarah would schedule.
Okay,
And
so
then
I need to send it, Jim, I need to send it to you now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Special
I'll-
meetings.
That's good.
and then next up on the agenda is the board orientation process.
Right. So, but Tara is pointing out that we don't have, this committee doesn't meet again until August.
Oh, August.
We missed that opportunity to interview her if we're, so why don't we have Rachel send the resume to me, I'll disseminate it to you. I think, by email, we can gather feedback on whether or not to interview her and go from there.
And at the same time, can we get the list of manufacturers and we'll create maybe a short list
Yeah.
of candidates in addition to this one?
Because if you could bring in a couple people,
Yeah.
that would make sense. Yeah.
But so far in the future, maybe we could get all those meetings for the August meeting.
And we could have a special. If you felt
Yeah,
like
we could.
We got the numbers.
Okay. Okay, great. So maybe we try to interview two people at the same time, meet in a
Yes.
special meeting, and then we can make that happen before August, so we get the empty board seats filled sooner. Okay. I'll send that out after this meeting. So board orientation process is next up on the agenda.
One of the things that the Authority Budget Office requires is that we have a board orientation manual. It is on our website. Riley and Lisa and I have to, now that we've had the annual meeting, incorporate post the new bylaws, the new charters. It has 6 main sections. One is board information, which includes board terms, calendar, all the charters and policies, and background information, which is the mission statement, articles of incorporation, bylaw, the most recent annual report. Organizational structure, which is staff, loan programs, membership, information on the Industrial Development Agency and the Capital Resource Corporation. Then financial information, which includes historic as well as current budgets and audits and other financial reports. Then policies and reports, we have procurement, investment, property acquisition, property disposition, employee compensation, whistleblower, MWBE, and equal employment opportunity policies, which are required by the ABO. And then other applicable laws and guidance, where there's a copy of the Public Authorities Reform Act, as well as the not-for-profit corporation law and ABO press releases. It's also a useful tool to the public who are looking to see, what we do and what we are. That's the outline of the electronic orientation manual that is follows the guideline of the ABO. Difficulty is I'm not sure we ever even tell you that when you come on the board that it is there. And I think also, having an opportunity to come in and perhaps meet with, after you're selected, with the chairman, myself, and the governance committee chair. I know, I think the more we got into the depth of the financials, you got to see how we really operate.
100%.
And so perhaps then a meeting with the finance committee chair and myself.
Yeah.
And either of you, if you're available or participate.
Yeah, the written information is all helpful and important. And I'm sure the newest members are reading that and digesting it, but it's not interactive.
Right.
And we need something that's interactive. And in addition, we need to be able to have a practical conversation with the new members as to what to expect when you walk through the door for your first meeting, and just how things operate from a practical standpoint.
And, I think if we took a step back and brought Richard in and give him that type of orientation, that it would help us draft a template that we could use for the next two or future directors that we pick.
Right now, we have Richard Nesbitt
And also
and Christian Lopez and Chris Nardone is going on as a
Right.
ex officio.
so we said that we scheduled that and
With all three of them.
with all three of them, and find a convenient date and time. And from there, we could see what follow-ups might be appropriate, either based on their desire to have more information, because you don't want to have a 2-hour meeting initially, and also what interest they have in the committee structure.
Is there like a short, I guess you would give a short presentation or overview of what the committee's responsibilities are?
Mhm.
And then, yeah.
And then we would look at, maybe a 3 to 5 minute overview of each of the programs, and perhaps the staff person responsible for the program could come in and make that presentation. So why don't we work on getting a schedule, and then work with you, Jim, and Tara about with at least a schedule agenda, so that we can time it out and be sure it's not a marathon meeting.
Right.
The old John Egan rule. It's over in an hour. No matter whether it's
Tony Jones took me to breakfast.
Yeah.
That was the orientation.
I remember going on a bank board some years ago. I was told the first 2 years don't say anything. But we want more active board members than that.
I think that it took me longer without an orientation. It took me longer to kind of understand the organization and just the importance of being a board member, I think.
Well, I think the other piece of it, I think each time, I think I was most surprised when Rick Richter said, "I didn't know you did all that." And I think part of the problem is when you attempt to explain what we do, people say either you're a mile wide and an inch deep, or you can't be doing all of that, or you can't be doing it all right. But so this will be great, and I think it'll institutionalize it so that going forward, it'll just be part of the process, not something an afterthought that we thought about and the new board member feels imposed upon. It's just part of the requirements.
I would think you could do it on Zoom also if you think, it's difficult to coordinate people coming into the office. Maybe the first time you do it in person, but I would think going forward.
And I think it will open up the new board member to more comfortably calling and asking something of me or the staff as it relates to whatever comes to their mind, and then also encourage, many of you are ambassadors and you'll call us regularly about, you drove by and saw a piece of land, or you have someone who could use a $25,000 loan, or you just have a question about, how the organization fits in the community, to share with people in connection with other activities you're involved with. So, it may be something that, evolves into one of your 15 or 20-minute reports to the board about our programmatic activities, as opposed just to order of business and approval of the consent agenda. I do think all of the board members could benefit from, that refresher.
Yeah.
The refresher of the orientation you never had.
So what would be the schedule goal for the new members?
Sometime in June.
Yeah, I
June?
think we'd want to have before the June meeting, so that, people will be off 6 different directions for summer.
Yep.
So and I keep forgetting, because you used to be no, I'm getting confused who the chair is. When I keep saying you're gonna come to these things, I should be saying Rachel.
I never was the chair of this one.
You were the chair of the finance committee.
Yes.
See, the staff needs some
Actually,
organization
not a
too.
past. Am I still-
If you were sitting here, I'd realize that I was, my apologies, Rachel.
First you broke the committee up, and now you're taking me off.
Don't take it personally.
So I think that, that'll be a welcomed, and good for us to have, what we do too.
Okay, so next on the agenda is approval. We need approval for the minutes from the March meeting.
Motion approved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So carried. So these will be presented at the next board meeting for approval by the full board, correct?
Minutes of committees are only approved by the committee.
Committee, yeah. no, we're
Okay,
good.
great. So now they're just approved and we do not need to present to the board.
Correct.
Okay, great. And then Jim, did you have other business or anyone else on the committee?
No.
No? No more business? No comments? Do we need a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you so
I
much.
apologize for brevity.